Welcome gamers to this one-off video. We're going to be looking at Headquarters Cold War, which has just come out literally within the last day or so. This is the second in the series, the Headquarters series, the first one being Headquarters World War II. This one does actually add some new concepts, actually, which is pretty exciting, pretty cool, the way it sort of does work. We're going to be playing a skirmish map today. There's two. Actually, I'll just go through the scope of what the game has got, and then we'll get into the skirmish. Training, definitely do it. It's just a one-off sort of like scenario. It takes a little bit of time to go through, but it does explain all the concepts and explains them very, very well. So just certainly go and do that. If you've been playing Headquarters World War II, still do it, because there are new things in this game, a fair few new things. Like, for example, you've now got helicopters, you've got anti-air, you've got all sorts of stuff like that. It seems to be a little bit more attention sort of been added to the way that things actually work. There's certainly, when I played through the first part of that training system, there were aspects about the game that I wasn't really aware of, which is sort of interesting. I actually want to go back and do the training level now for Headquarters World War II and see if they're actually part of that game or if they're not. Like, for example, I wasn't really aware of the height advantages that you get, whereas you do actually have, that's a big advantage now in Headquarters Cold War. Headquarters, before I get started, I do want to thank Slytherin for sponsoring this video. So thank you for that one. Very, very much appreciated. This is a game, this is a series of games that I've always enjoyed playing. Like, there's always a few little bugs with the game, so I'll just be upfront about that as well. And there are, if you are generating your own random maps in skirmish mode, there's a few little things I would like to see changed. So I'll go through those as well, just so you've got like a fully open eyes for when if you are thinking about actually purchasing this game. The Headquarters series really, like, when you say entry-level war games and things like that, it makes it sound like there's not really any sort of any nuance to it. But that's, that couldn't be further from the truth. I guess it's genuinely approachable. Like, it's a genuinely approachable war game that can be played fairly quickly. And so, whereas so many of the actual war games, and it's graphical as well. Like, it's got a nice graphical sort of approach to it. But it's very much a non-realistic take on warfare, but it's still fun to play. There's still immersion with it, but just not in the high realism areas. So, just to put it into perspective, I love it. I love the game. So anyway, let's get into the campaigns. I'll just quickly go through what they've got. You've got 2 campaigns. You just have to do them in order through the actual through this one here. You do have a core force that you then take through the whole of the actual campaign itself, like, say, scenario after scenario. And you've got 10 in the NATO campaign, 10 in the USSR campaign. One thing you'll notice when you do load the game in, it's quite a large game. There's a lot of voice acting in the game. And so that's actually a big improvement over Headquarters World War II. There's, like, if you've played Headquarters World War II and played as the Germans, you'll sort of be aware that there's no sort of like German tang to the actual to the accents, and that's which is a shame. I would love to sort of see, like, at least the the Hogan's Heroes sort of approach to German voice acting applied to Headquarters World War II. But in this one, you do actually have you can tell when you're playing the USSR that you've got a USSR voice actor is actually then doing the voice acting for you, which is good. So anyway, that's really quite cool. Now that's actually, so they're the 2 campaigns, 10 in each. So you've got 10 different scenarios in each, and I think many of you, that's where you'll be wanting to focus. Like, these are certainly curated. They're it's just the way the game is designed to be played. But personally, I love random maps, but unfortunately in skirmish mode, the random map generator still works like it does in World War II, but it's actually causes some little issues. So hopefully they'll sort of, you can see I've been testing one down the bottom through here, which is just not quite working properly. This like, the roads don't appear and stuff like that. So some things that they do need to change. So that's actually where I always start with these sort of games. So even before I was doing the tutorial, I thought, I'll have a look and see what how the random maps go in the game. This will be very familiar to you if you are used to playing Headquarters World War II. The same sort of style of things in through here. What I'll do is I'll just go and play this first one, which is a curated map. These are the maps that come with the game, so you've got 6 of those, which is great. These can also be then played as multiplayer as well. So there's a lot of replay value in the game, like a hell of a lot, particularly with the map generator. And when that does get a little bit of love and attention, to sort of just polish up the little bugs that are in it, it'll be very, very worthwhile. One of the problems with playing in the skirmish mode is the balance of the forces is wildly off. So just be aware of that as well. This is not the way the game is designed to be played. So I'm going to be playing. I'll play as NATO and against the USSR. One thing I wish that they would change, I'll go through all the little things that I find as little annoyances in this mode. I wish it wouldn't be green and yellow. I'm a little bit colorblind, and these two as your default starts are really, really not good for people like myself who struggle with colors. So in this case, I would prefer that to start off with blue and red, and then to split up the yellow and green. So I'll just be a little bit scathing about that one. Cyan as well is a difficult one to spot. So I would put cyan down the very, very bottom. I would just separate these, but bring them further down. But certainly start off with blue and red. It's just a little thing, but it does make a big difference. Now, bias in this one as well is is sort of like when you get prestige is what you use to spend to build your armies up. And so you can see down through here we've got starting prestige and then prestige income rate over the course of the game. As you get more flags, you'll then get more prestige, which means you can build up your army a little bit faster. So we have a bias for prestige, which is it's a prestige bias, nothing else. So it just means that if I go and change mine to 80%, it just means that if there's 100 prestige being divvied out to both sides, I'll get 80, they'll get 100. So it's just that's the way it then works. And I find that sort of gives me a fairly good game with them on 100 and me on 80. Maximum turns. Now, the maximum turns comes from the time in through here. If I turn that one off, I can then sort of just have it so that we don't have to worry about the turns. Control the flag. Each flag is worth 1 point. Now, it says that there's 2 players and 3 flags. You do actually have your own sort of starting location flag as well. I think you get some prestige from that one. I'm not sure if you get victory points from that, to be honest. But I'll just keep it on 50, so I'll keep control of the flag on. If I turn that off, that then disappears as well. So you can just go full on aggression if you're wanting to. You've then got Conqueror. Now, Conqueror means you have to go and take the enemy location where they spawn in from. So you've got that aspect where you actually go to their spawn location, take that, and you then win the game. And wipe them out just means kill everything, like including their last one. I'll leave those 3 on. They're the different victory conditions. Down through here we've got starting prestige. Now I'll probably just keep it on 2,500, I think. That means I'm going to start off with 2,000. They'll start off with 2,500. But the prestige income rate, I'm going to make this one really, really low, just so that we have to really think about what we're going to do as we play the game. I find that the game accelerates away too quickly at 100, so you end up with just too many points ultimately. It's good in the early part, like for maybe the first 10 or 15 rounds, but then after that you'll start to sort of accelerate away. And so I'm just going to change that down to say 10, so we're only going to get 10% of what we should be getting from the prestige. So I'm going to do it that way. Unit starting level. Now this is because we're not really going through like a full campaign. You can actually start off with where you've actually got each unit that you bring in can have different levels to start with, which can be useful. I think it's just going to get in our way a little bit. So I'll just keep it on 0. But it's a nice little way of doing things. I've got enabled heroes there for 3. Now, by default, it's on 0. I do like the heroes. I don't like the way they're implemented, if I'm sort of honest. And I'm assuming that this is going to be the same as Headquarters as World War II, where if they do get killed, like if a unit gets killed, you get them back immediately, and you can then place them back in another new unit. And I don't like that. I wish it was actually that there was some sort of cooldown timer for heroes as well. Like, sort of like 5 turns or something like that. So just so that even longer, just so that they can't come back in immediately, but that they will come back at some other point. This is the Headquarters cooldown reduction. This is just how often you can then go and use things. I'll keep this on 0. If you're wanting to make the game a little bit easier for yourself, then certainly you can actually use that reduction and have a number there, just so that the cooldowns, you can use the Headquarters skills a bit more than the default. The default being 0. So Headquarters skills. Now there's new stuff in here as well. Like one of the funny things in through here is the tactical nuclear strike. I won't put it on. It's just going to be like, I think it'd be a bit too crazy, but. We are talking Cold War era here, the 1980s with what's going on. So this is going to be my setup. I'm just going to go rally, reinforcement, and then all of these different things with only 10% prestige income rate, which means that my first army is going to be very, very important. Let's go and get started. I'm going to keep it on challenging. So you've got a whole lot of different things in here. You can go and you can just customize the way things do work in through this other side. And again, if you're struggling in a certain area, just boost them around to suit whatever suits you. So in we go. Now, the way the game works is that we do actually have, this is going to be our spawn location. Around our spawn location, directly underneath this is where whatever the first unit is, will come into here, and then typically then sort of spreads out around from that point. To look around, Q and E will then just sort of allow me to sort of maneuver. I can start to zoom up a little bit and have a bit more of a tactical look down on the map itself. And we can see down through here that we've got like we've sort of got this sort of like these different roads coming into the in with the game itself. They'll be on the opposite side. There's the USSR forces. So we've got a location up through here that we will need to then go and get and defend. There's one in the middle of the map as well. This will be probably where most of the attacks will then sort of be coming in. And then we have one over this other side as well. Now, that's much closer for them to access this than for us. Or is it? It's about the same, I guess. So we have to decide. I think ultimately it's going to be easier for us to grab this and then fight for this one, and then sort of just work our way that way, and then try to. Attrition is a massive thing in the game. Now, one of the other things you can do in the game, which is if you click with your middle mouse button, it then puts it into free view. I can then sort of have a bit of a look around the actual battlefield to sort of get a bit more of a perspective view of what's going on. It's not the greatest way of actually looking at the game when you're playing the game, but it does give you a bit of an overview, it looks really quite nice. So I probably should take a screenshot once we sort of for the thumbnail. when we get going here a little bit with a few other different units. Anyway, that's free camera. You can see that it says free camera at the top of the screen. If I look up in the sky and then just do another middle mouse button click, it will then just go down with the same angle. If I press M, it'll just reset the camera back to where it was by default. So we're sort of looking in the wrong direction, because we're looking back at our forces. So for us, it is going to be better to be looking in this sort of angle this way. So I'll just zoom back in. So this is where we're going to be starting. Let's get into it. We've got 2,000 prestige points to spend. And we'll go through some of the things that are new in the game. So this is going to look very familiar to you, except we now have helicopters. So actually there's a few little things like this as well. See how it's got GUI, class group attack helicopters. There's still some the skirmish mode. I've got to say, like I played a little bit of the campaign, very, very polished, but there are some missing little bits and pieces from the skirmish mode. So I'm guessing this is not where the attention has been placed just yet. But if I go into here as well, we've then got two different helicopters. We've got the Black Hawk, which is a transport helicopter, and then we have the Apache, which is an attack helicopter. And so these both do different things. Like this one here, you can see, I'll go through how all of this does work, but very, very succinctly, if you're trying to evaluate what any unit does, you've then got these very, very basic parameters up through here. So this first one is accuracy. So like it's the 2 hit for the unit. This is the high explosive attack, which is used against soft targets like infantry and helicopters. Like if I go and hover over the, this is the armor, and you'll see this has got a soft defense. So it actually uses, it's a soft target essentially, but it is an air unit as well. So we've got, so that's the attacks. This is the reactions. Most units, in fact, I don't think there's any units that don't have 2 and 3. This is the way it sort of does work. This is the movement points, so it can move a long distance at 10. And this is its morale. So morale is something that you'll be attacking as you actually sort of hit the different enemy units, and units can then end up sort of like getting to a position where they break. And so the more fire that a unit takes, the more the morale will come down. But at the start, they're 100, which you'd expect. Accuracy down through this other side, high explosive attack, and then this is the armor piercing attack. And so this one's only got a 25, 28. So it's not really all that effective with what's going on. This is the attack range. So it's got a range of 10, which is reasonable. It's a fairly good attack with what it does have. And then the spotting in through here as well. So it's got a good, it can spot fairly well at 15, and it's got 0 camouflage. So once it's in the air, the enemy will sort of see it coming. We should also then have, this is the points. So this is worth 463 points. The attack helicopter is a bit different. Now, they also then have special abilities. Like if I just go and sort of scroll down through here, it's got a high profile, which makes it sort of easier to spot. It's a transport unit in this case. This unit deals damage to buildings, obstacles, and objects. So it does with its attack. It can land and take off. Wow. It can do aerial combat. This unit can attack enemy helicopters while they're in the air. When you see aerial combat or anything like that, you're then going to know that they do a lot of damage against other aircraft. So that's something that's important. And it's got a rocket strike. So this unit performs a long-range attack, ignoring line of fire limitations. So that's interesting as well. So the line of fire limitations are not really a problem. Now I didn't think that was the case actually with this, but that's what they actually have. So when we have a look at the, so that's actually what they end up sort of getting back through there. If we go back to the Apache, back and through this other side, the Apache here has is an attack helicopter. You'll see that it's got landing and takeoff again as well. It's got aerial combat and rocket strike there again, but it does a lot more damage. So this one here has got the same sort of parameters. It's got better accuracy, better high explosive attack, better armor piercing attack, but it can't transport anyone else around. So this is purely on an attack area. But the Black Hawk is going to be very, very useful for us to bring forces into different areas and to support. So this is a big, big change now in the game itself. We also have, in the next tab, I don't know if it's in here. Yeah, this is interesting. We've now got the artillery that we've always had is still in here, range 20. Still does too much damage, I feel. Like these are, I think that the artillery is something that I find overpowered in the game. And so 700 with a range of 20, I can almost just have that in my spawn and hit all sorts of different things. So getting these early are going to be very, very important. These actually perform a different role as well. This is why I don't think that the actual attack values need to be anywhere near as high as what they actually are, because they actually stop, if you attack with artillery, you're going to stop reaction fires. So you're not going to, the opportunity, the attacks of opportunity are going to be they're going to disappear if it's been attacked from from one of these units, which gives you a big advantage just in that aspect. So I find that the balance of these are always OP there's way too many. And I sort of hope at some point in the skirmish mode that they have a way of limiting how many of these you can bring in, like whether they actually make it so that with certain units that it costs double every time you build one of them, or a percentage more for it, like even like a 20%, 50%, like so that if the first one was 700, the second one would then be, like if it was say 50%, would then be looking at another 350 on top of that. So it would be looking at 1,050 for the second one. Things like that, just to stop you from spamming these, would be really, really cool. So anyway, that's just my little suggestion. But what's new here as well is we've got these Mark 20 through this other side. And if I go and click on, I can't do the info just yet, but these are also anti-aircraft fire and with aerial combat. So this unit can intercept enemy aircraft within its attack range, unless its Overwatch is disabled or is out of reactions. Again, if this is attacked by sort of artillery or mortars or something like that, it's then not going to be able to fire on helicopters. This really changes the way you play this game as opposed to Headquarters World War II. And so in this case, we've got the like this one's got high accuracy, it's got good armor piercing attack, but with the aerial combat, it really is going to just smash through helicopters very, 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 very quickly. And so this one doesn't have any sort of movement, like there's zero movement, so it has to be transported around. It's got a range of 12, so it can actually see the helicopters coming. Anyway, this is again a different unit that we haven't really seen these before in the game. We've had like the 88s, for example, the German 88s, but they're not used really in the anti-air abilities. Whereas now these are still able to fire on other things, but so there's almost like an anti-tank gun as well to a bit of a degree. But they really are designed to sort of hit the helicopters. Then we've got pretty much the stock standard stuff that we've always sort of had, the different types of artillery, like these are motorized artillery. You can see there that's the biggest one in the game. Attack range of 25, which is just crazy, and still big damage in through that other side as well. This one here, attack range of 25, as well as with what it's actually doing. Rocket barrage, bombardment. When it says bombardment, these units perform a long-range attack ignoring line of fire limitations. Bombardment. These will mainly be bombardment. This is anti-air as well, actually. That's interesting. That's actually higher level. Oh, this is actually motorized anti-air. Okay, so that's 360. So, again, it's going to have pretty good attacks back and through this other side. Anti-air only. So this unit can attack only air targets, so it can't actually fire at anything on the ground. This one here is anti-air as well, with what it can actually then go and do. And the Jaguar is damage buildings, clear wreck. Yeah, so it's essentially like it's just a medium sort of unit there with a rocket. I'm guessing well, it's just a direct attack. But look at the this is an anti-tank weapon, 200 versus with 120. Accuracy. So very, very different to what we've sort of played with Headquarters World War II with these different units, with the way that they do come in. We don't actually have any of the assault, the anti-tank guns in through there. These are the guns where the turret is built in. I'm guessing the Russian forces must have those. Then we've got our actual our tanks that do come back through. Some of these don't actually accept heroes, which is interesting. Like the Sheridan, for example, is actually does a fair bit of damage, but doesn't actually accept any heroes. You can't, and I don't know why, because this is just a tank. But we've got like the Leopards, the German Leopard tanks, as well as the M1 Abrams. So these are sort of like our more high, like heavy hitting tanks that we sort of then can go and get, but they're going to be quite expensive for us to bring these in. It's sort of one of the things I like about this is that there's now much more nuance than in the original game, which is really quite cool. So our original forces, we're definitely going to be wanting to bring some of these tanks in. We do actually have some cheaper sort of tanks at the start through here, and again, because it doesn't matter if we lose the heroes, we can bring them back in. You'll notice that this one has now got like a Hard defence at the front, in through here. So we've got the frontal armour of 110. We've got the top. Now the top armour is very important if for heights. If you are firing from a height down on an enemy unit, the top number becomes much more prevalent. So you're not going to be wanting. You're going to be wanting your tanks essentially on high ground to be able to then sort of do their job. Otherwise, they are going to be much more susceptible to when they do get hit, because the top armor will come into play with the RNG, and then you've got the sort of like the side armor there of 65, 40, etc. So these will sort of vary as you sort of go through the various groups. Like that Leopard 1 is only got 20 top armor. But very, very good frontal armor. So again, the strategy now of what you do with the in the game is really quite strong. Recon, of course, is going to be super, super important. So these have got like a vision of a spotting of 15 with a bit of camouflage, not much camouflage. I almost think the helicopter is better. So we've got scout. So this is unit identifies all enemy units within the radius, ignoring line of sight. This is actually very, very valuable, but I don't know if it's going to be valuable on our map. Then we have another one here as well. These have just got really long movement. If we go back to the helicopters again, we don't have scout with this one here, but we do actually have, like with the Black Hawk, we've still got the spotting of 15 there, and the movement points are only 10, but it will allow me to, I'll be able to then transport other units around as well. It's just a little bit more expensive. I'm almost tempted to just get one of those at the start. Normally I would get recon or even 2 recon and go for the objectives as fast as I possibly could. But I think we might do that with helicopters, or a helicopter initially anyway. Now, certain areas we won't be able to land well in the helicopter. This is another feature. Well, let's go and do that. This is new anyway. So let's just go and acquire a helicopter. And so we've now got this one placed back in through here. It's now chewed up a little bit of our money. We've got 1,500 left in the money that we had to spend. I definitely want to have a tank, and I don't have to go to the super expensive ones. I'm thinking if I go with this one here and just be mindful that we have to sort of try to look after it, it's at least going to be fairly cheap. And so I'm going to acquire a Leopard 1. Now this Leopard 1, if I go and click on it, I can assign a hero to this one. So I've got one that's an infantry hero, which I can't assign him. But Jonas here has got honed reloading. So this unit gains 2 attack. Fearsome. This unit attacks. The enemy units attack this unit with their accuracy reduced by 50%, and inspiring leadership. All vehicles within 1.5 range gain 30 accuracy. We also have Jamal, who is also a tanker, and so he's a survivor. So enemy attacks are less effective. Critical hits become hit becomes graze becomes miss. That's very, very good. Resourceful. This unit destroys or routs the enemy. So when this unit destroys or routs the enemy, it restores all missing attacks. Again, great. And unit attacks ignore 50% of the enemy armor. Well, he's the guy, isn't he? So let's go and assign him. So he's now been placed into this particular tank. So he's now the hero in charge. He's only a private though, I think, when you look at his details. Jonas, and back to Jamal. Private Jamal Lewis. Oh, hang on, no, that's private in 3 there. I'm not sure where he ends up. I think these are usually based on real people. I'm not sure if they are, though. I won't say that they are, definitely. Okay, so he's in control there of that particular one. Let's go back to acquire. And so we've now got, we've only got 947 left. Now we definitely want to be making use of the, of dropping troops off. It would be handy to drop a couple off. The scouts are really, really useful, but initially we just want to be claiming the locations. So special forces are going to give me a few different things. We've got the athletic, they've into buildings, into wrecks, board transports, and they've got an anti-tank missile as well. So we've got that one, which is different to the armor-piercing attack. So we have a different sort of attack. So attack range of 2.8. I don't know why it's 2.8. This unit performs a this unit performs a short-range attack against enemy armor units. It gains armor-piercing attack equal to 20 plus the cover rating of whatever it actually is. That's useful to know as well. So different mechanics, very different mechanics. It also has the assault ability. Now we may sort of find that the scouts have got assault, but they don't have the anti-tank. The anti-tank team can certainly got its own anti-tank abilities there at a range of 6. Snipers don't have anti-tank abilities. They do have a sniper shot, so activation costs 2 attack. The unit's attacks with accuracy increased by 100%. It's already very accurate. These are really cool to have around as well. These are great against infantry. Machine gunners are also good against infantry, like 60 attack there, with a range of 10. The mortar teams will be able to sort of soften targets up. And again, these are worth getting, but the 390, they're probably a little bit expensive. Then just a common old rifleman. We do actually have the anti-tank missile there. I could just use these guys, but what I think I'll do is I'll bring the special forces in. These cost a fair bit more than these, so we'll acquire those. And this one also, we can also assign transport to it, but we won't do that. We'll use the helicopter for that. And if we go into heroes here, we then have Michael Walker, who has got Bullseye. Deals an additional 2 damage if the attack was not a miss. Entrench, this unit receives an additional 0.2 cover if it has not moved since the start of the turn. And then hit and run. So by dealing damage to the enemy unit, the owner of the ability restores 2 movement points, but not more than the maximum. Okay, so that's fine. So we'll assign him to that group. So we've now got 2 of the heroes assigned. And we'll just go back to acquire. Now, we're going to be wanting to bring other forces in as well. Scouts are super useful because they've got the scout ability. Now, perspective, any unknown enemy unit becomes identified instead, so we can actually see exactly what we're dealing with. So scouts are worth the money. So I'll acquire that one. We're still at 482. I'll grab some riflemen as well. And I can get... I could actually just save some of this just so we can bring something back as we sort of build it up. Like, is that enough for me to claim the middle with this and then go back and claim other things? Maybe not. Maybe if we just go back to recon. I cannot afford this one, but I can afford this one here. So I'm going to shoot this one across until we can sort of just go and claim things. So let's go and acquire that as well. All right, that's done. So we now deploy, but make sure when you're playing the game, if you are playing with heroes, that you assign them in here at the start so that you can... I don't think we can assign any heroes to this one, not that I'd be wanting to, but make sure that you assign them before you go in. Once you've deployed, you can't deploy your heroes. This is done in this screen. So we go to deploy. So we have our different units back down through here. This is better. It used to actually always do it from the middle here. It's now sort of doing it more from around the outside. So this is our helicopter. Let's just start with the helicopter. Actually, we can't do anything this turn, so we'll just end our turn here. Got 62 left over. Up to 94. This is comfortable. This is a nice small progression. We're going to have to be very careful. Attrition is going to be really important. Now, what I want to see is I want to see where this thing can land. So it can land in the fields, it can land in that road, it can't land in houses, which would make sense. It can land over there. When I get up to here, I don't think it can land anywhere in there. So that's not going to be really a place that I can bring the helicopter. But I can bring it back to there. Or back to here. So I'm going to, well, first of all, I need to just get it to go and land next to, this is my special forces. So I need it to be sort of near where where it can then sort of take off. Now the special forces, let's not move those just off. Let's have a look and see. These guys can move to there. So I might as well land there, and that way I'm at least a little bit forward of the others. I could just. Can I land there? No, I can't land there. It's too close to the other locations. So landing is not an option. But if we land here, I can then tell it to land, and that will be sort of its turn really. So it's now landed. It can't take off again, and it can't move again. I can then bring this one across. Oh, I don't have enough to bring that one in. What are your orders? I do with that one. I needed a couple of extra ones to actually get onto on this one here. The scout forces. Oh, hang on, maybe I can do it this way. Can I move it? No, I can't do it. I'm going to have to do it this way. Just get the riflemen on board so they can start moving next turn. Bring that one through. Now we've still got the little, got the tank, and we also then have the recon. I'm going to, the recon unit's going to have to go all the way. It can go through there to get to this one up in here. We've got the heights, and again, looking at the heights, it is important to sort of make sure that you are getting as high as you can for your attacks. But in this case, I can get all the way out to there as well. Look, I'll go towards the middle of the map. Zipping its way through different areas, and I'll move the tank into the middle as well. These are much slower. So we can't use the helicopter to get into the central area. Again, I like that. I like that a lot. We get the scout unit over this other side. You can't really do much else with them. I'll just move them across. And that's pretty much all we can do this first turn. So everyone's movement is now gone. These are spooling up, these different countdowns. So we'll end our turn here. We're up to 126, so there's nothing much I can really buy with 126. There's just nothing. I don't think there's anything anywhere. Yeah, no, it's nothing much there. Now we can start to move this one across. So I'm going to go and drop this one off. I'll drop it off across where the scouts are moving towards. So we'll move it up, and it's just going to take a little bit of time to get it to move across the map.
Inbound to new position.
These can be really useful for transporting across terrain where things are blocked. The infantry can just move straight through forest, etc., but the vehicles can't. Let's move that one around a little bit. I probably want to keep this one in the middle. Let's go and see what we can spot. Be careful. I'm seeing a little bit more each time as well. There we go. What have we got here? So we've got ourselves another little scout vehicle. So a UAZ. Now we are still hidden, so it can't. Like if we go and we can't actually hit it with our attack. Our attack can't actually reach that far. But there is actually, it says that it will sort of spot us and see us at that point. I can't really get into any of these locations, so I'm just going to go and move back. Now I can move back a few different ways. I've got, in fact, does it even matter here? If I just go and click on this unit and then click on this area through here, I can get the detail. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's 15 everywhere, and it's a soft defense. So it's not really going to help us all that much. And it's just infantry is what this is considered to be. So I'm just going to move this one back. So it doesn't really matter about the facing, but I will still change it anyway. Actually, no, it's not going to do it. I can just turn it that way. So at least it's sort of facing that side. We'll bring the tank through now as well. The tank can just smash its way through the buildings. So we get that one ready. They've already moved in.
Aircraft waiting for order.
They're all done as well. So everyone has now moved. There's nothing else we can really do. Can't afford to buy anything just yet.
NATO turn begins.
Now, survivability and attrition are really important to us. Now, they've just claimed this area.
Waiting orders.
If I go and attack it, we are seen, so no matter where I go, I do get an attack there. What do they have? If we have a look and see what they've got, we can then have a look and analyse. They've got such a low attack. So they're the exact equivalent of what we end up having. We want the tank to take this one out, though. So I'm going to move just to there to start with. 62% chance to hit this one. The Greys, and that's now sort of got their morale down a little bit. And they're trying to hit us back. Now that that's been done, there's still got reaction. So if we have a look at them again, if we just go back and click on them and look to see what they've got. So actually, it doesn't update through here, but they've got 3 reactions and 2 attacks. Now, initially, they would have had one of those attacks could have been an Overwatch. If I still attack with this one, you can see down through here, when I hover over it, we end up, there's an 85% chance that they're going to do 1 to 2 damage back to us. And on the side through here, you'll notice that this is like the prediction. If I press the C key, I just get like a simplified version of what's going on. So in this case, if I attack it with my Ford, I've got 0% chance of getting a critical hit. I've got a 23% chance of getting a hit that does 2 damage. And I've got 41% chance of doing a graze with doing 1 damage and 36% chance of missing it. So when you add the 41 and the 23, you're getting 63% chance to do between 1 and 2 damage, which is not great. And coming back the other way, you can see the enemy unit return fire. It also has 0 chance of getting a critical hit, 39% chance of getting an actual hit. I'm not sure why it's got better, and we'll find out in just a minute. The Greys is 46%, so they've got an 85% chance of doing some damage back to me, and really the game is all about protecting your units as much as you possibly can. So in this case, I'm just going to press the C key, which will now explain what's going on. So we can sort of see down through here that they've got a the range. So this is a negative multiplier. So unit accuracy, our base unit accuracy is 120. We have a negative numbers. We've got range is 3%. It's a moving target, so they've got 46 because they've been moving quickly down that road. They're hard to hit, and target profile is also small. And when we have a look at ours, we also then have a like from the enemy's perspective, our movement is nowhere, like we're not moving as much as what they are. We've still got some movement. Both got the same armor. The attack is 27. Their attack is 30. So they actually do a little bit more damage than what we do. That's just going to be. So it just means that essentially they get a little bit extra with what they do. So it's still not really viable. Let's go back to the tank. If we have a look and hover over with the tank, we'll then sort of see that we end up with the negative multipliers again, so coming back through. So we've got the final accuracy. It actually gives you the numbers. So we've got 120 now. It should show us that we're lower down the hill. I'm not sure where that's sort of showing in the actual in the calculation. I think it might be the 120 plus 6 for them. And so we've got 120 times 0.97. Don't know what that is. Times 1 times 1.1. Yeah, I'm not sure what all these different calculations actually are. But anyway, we've got a 55. They will definitely hit us with their return. It just won't do any damage. So the damage modifier there is negative 100%. You can see it's got 0 chance of doing anything at all. It's still got like there is a there's still they've got a slight chance that they'll miss us, which is interesting. Anyway, let's just continue on. So we're going to smash this one. We've still got 1 shot left here. So this will then generate 1 more reaction shot. Now that does a graze. And so it's now got one reaction shot left, but we've got no more shots left here. So I will now use this one. It's now 63 versus 63. So we've got a 63% chance of killing this thing, which is worth doing. We get the first shot.
That was off. Missed.
Damn. We just lost 2 units. It's got no more reaction shots. And so now we're in a bit of trouble. I'm still going to have a go at it because it's got no more shots left. Come on, get the kill there. We got it in the end. So this unit has now been badly damaged. The only way we can heal it is through using this rally. Sorry, not rally, this one here, reinforcement, which will actually then just replenish the crew. I'm not going to worry about this one. It was really a throwaway anyway. Just going to move this one up. By the way, when you do that, you'll notice that the crew members have now gone. So we've got killed in action, first driver. This unit is without a driver. It loses 50% movement points. So we can only move a small amount. We also then lost the gunner. So it loses 25 accuracy. We've still got the second driver. Contributes 25% move points and 25% spotting range to spotting to the unit. So that is not really great. Now, it can't even reach... I guess it should be able to reach. Yeah, it can reach. I'll just go and do that one. And we're going to get rid of that one and just reclaim this again.
Target acquired.
Now we've got another one coming through. So this is actually a transport. If I just zoom around, we can sort of then see it. So we've got a transport through there, which has actually got airborne forces. So it's got its elite forces are moving in towards this attack as well. And so it's going to be able to move right up into this position. Now, I really can't do anything here. This one's dead, I think. I'm going to put the tank on the road. So in the heights, I've now got the position where I've got the tank. I'm just going to rotate this one around. And we'll then try to get the special forces in there as well. Now they should be able to, yeah, they can make their way through ultimately just through the over that area there, and then sort of up through into the trees. So let's move that one across. Now what do we spot? Someone over here. So they're going up to this one here, but we'll still just keep on moving through. All right, time to move the helicopter. Now I can't land here. I'm not seeing anyone, and we would see someone if there was something, you know, to see. But we're seeing this over through here. Yeah, some sort of unknown unit. So we've got actually this is interesting. We've got we've got airborne forces in through there. We've got an unknown unit there, and we have actually the leader is part of this particular group. So there's a leader in that tank. So that will be coming around the corner very soon. We'll move our scout forces over as well. So they're now just going to move through the trees. Okay, and then we should be able to land up in here next turn, I think. Hope. I'm not going to save that unit. I'm just going to keep it where that is. And we'll end our turn there. Well, here they come. That's good. Comes the tank. We've got Overwatch. We did 2 grazes on it, and it went for the other one, but did miss it. Missed. Oh, here they come. Yep, that's been hit. All right, so we've both lost something, but the attrition for me is much harder now. This one here has actually struggled a lot. I'm just going to move this one across into the tree line here. Now we're spotted. Oh, gee, that was bad. They hit us pretty hard. Now that one may have a... yeah, this one's got a leader in it as well. Well, this is actually where I do want to replenish. And we don't know what this calculation is going to be. So with our hero unit in here, bullseye again, additional 2 damage if the attack was not a miss. We don't know what's going to be. Entrench, so if we don't move, and then hit and run. By dealing damage to the enemy unit, the owner of this ability restores 2 movement points. That would be useful as well. Let's just go for it. So they've done 1 overwatch. They've still got 2 reaction shots as well. That's okay. We'll do that again. There we go. We got a hit. 3 grazers, and we now actually have the ability to now move into this vehicle. So we're still in good protection here, but I want to be moving up. And what do we know about this one here? I don't know much. It's a T-64. That's about as good as they've got with their tanks. Now we're hidden again. So we'll be able to ultimately protect this region with those special forces. So that will then work out well. We now have a cooldown of 4 with that reinforcement there. Now, when we have a look at this tank, we've got a 77% chance of doing 2 to 3 damage, and there's only 3 left in it. I've got nothing else I can bring in to affect this attack. So, yeah, the problem is, it's still facing the front. So it's the frontal armor that we actually have. So if we have a look at our unit, our Leopard 1, we do have 150 hard defense. We don't have the height advantage anymore because they've got onto the hill. We did do some damage to them though. So with the high profile, there's really nothing much we can do there. And again, if we have a look at the heroes, so he's got Survivor, Resourceful, and Shield. This ignores 50% of the enemy armor, which is unbelievably powerful here. So in this case, this particular weapon, the T-64, has got very high hitting power through there, big armor through there. I don't know if it's got an overwatch in this case, but it has lost a couple of its units. So it's lost its killed in action is a driver assistant, so it's losing a little, which doesn't matter as much in the game, but it does lose a bit of spotting. And the gunner was killed in action, so it's lost a little bit of accuracy. Now, if I move down, the attack I have through here, if I just go and grab this one. So we've got the enemy armor. We are hitting the front and the side. The attack angle is 72%, 72 degrees, sorry. So the adjusted armor, it says 42. That comes off the armor piercing. So it's not ideal. If I move up 1, it will then be helpful. Oh, this guy's still back in here. There's nothing on board that truck, so I'm not going to worry about the truck. It's really this unit here that was dropped off. So it's just now moving around trying to find areas that it can sort of then do things with. So with this unit here, if I move up, we now have a shot here where it's got less damage that it can do against us. If we have a look at this one here, we now actually have the attack angle is now 90 degrees, which means that its armor is now down even more. if I move back to here, I should then get a rear shot. And we have a look at this one here. So now when we hover over it, we're now going to do 2 to 4 damage, and with 77% chance to hit. So this one we should be able to kill it with the 2 shots that we have. So I'm not seeing any other units down this way, so I think I'm safe enough to do a rotate. Just think for the reaction shot, when it does come back, it's going to be hitting us. So this is important that we end up doing this sort of thing. It's still not a direct rear shot. Bang, there it goes. Now that's a big win for us, because that's worth a lot of points. So just from an attrition side of things, that's very powerful. I'm just going to move this one back to lend support. Now I don't know what this group is over here. I think I'm going to keep my facing down this other side, and that way it's not going to be able to do much. If I keep it there, I don't have any more shots, so we're out of... Oh no, we've got our shots back. 40% there. I will move up in this case. That's right, with the hero that we actually have in this leopard. Again, just having a quick look and see what he can do. So this is the resourceful. So when this unit destroys or routs an enemy, it restores all missing attacks. Only do it once per turn. So we don't know who that is. That is really a nothing. So let's just go after this one here. Missed, but it has been demoralized. We'll do one more shot. Still missing. Now we know that we killed off a couple of these. I think I'll just keep that one where that is. So that actually works out fairly well. It's a great little game, isn't it? Like it's pretty cool. Now I can land here. Oh, there we go. We've spotted another unit. So we have a unit here, which is coming up the road. Now this is a unit that we don't know anything about. It's a truck. I'm assuming that the troops on board the truck will still be around. Now before we do anything else with the helicopter, let's move this one up. It may be able to see through. No, not yet. So now the helicopter has got 2 shots, but it won't have those shots from the bottom if I do land it. So I'm just going to, without knowing what the actual target is, this is a fairly clear attack for us. Missed again. And we're just going to land now. And we're now going to offload. And we've now got this one secure with these riflemen. Now the riflemen can now see what's going on in there. And we have another group inside here where they've got airborne forces. So these are more powerful. Now's our best chance to actually do some damage here. Missed. Go and do it again. Got one graze. They've been demoralized, which will sort of slow them down a little bit. Now I still can move. I'm out in the open here, but I do actually have a location here where I've got, so we've got the elevation of 3 where we are, elevation of 0 there. It does give us a bit of an advantage, but let's just go into this building. So we're now here where we can start to sort of have a look to see what we can do with the actual group itself. I can also turn off, I can make it hold fire if I'm really wanting to get better shots at things. But they're going to be able to sort of come in. At least we've got 2 different units there. Now I can't do anything else with the helicopter just yet. So that's all we can really do this turn. We're up to 206, so I could go and get myself another rifleman unit if I need to. But I think with the 3 of these against that group there, we're doing pretty well. That one there, I could almost start to go after their main location. Just remember that they've got a little bit more units than what we have. I don't need to rally anyone. Everyone's doing well. So we'll just end our turn. Bang! Wow, that actually hurt. Missed. Took one graze. It's fleeing. Okay, we've destroyed that one, but we lost a helicopter. So it's all, yeah. Now they're aiming for this. They're moving. I've got to say, this is excellent from the AI. This is something we haven't really seen much before in the game. Now we've got another small unit there. Second fire, you get a better shot. I'm going to go after their home with my tank because I should now have a big advantage like this, and we're going to need to get some protection back in the home area. Now they could win the game here. That truck, I think, is right here. Got nothing much I can really do. Now we know that there's another group further down the hill. I'm going to move across. Now they're down in here. I just need to sort of try to make sure we're in elevation 2 here. I'll just stay in the trees, and I will use the scout ability. Hang on, where is it? Scout. Oh, that was it. Okay. Well, they're not close enough. So we'll just leave that one where that is. So that can also just have the overwatch. We'll leave all them where they are. Now we need to somehow protect this. I've got 270. So we'll go back in and grab another unit. We've got very limited forces in here. I'm really enjoying this with the limited numbers, to be honest. Enjoying it a lot. So 270, I can actually get myself another special forces, or I can get myself a sniper team. I'll go special forces. Deploy. So not quite where we need to be. We could lose the game here. Let's end our turn. Got it. That one's been destroyed. That's more attrition. Other greys. So the group that was down in here is attacking us. We're now seeing them. This will be the force that has got the main group, I think. Now they're attacking there. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is a first. That is an absolute, I am super, super impressed. Wow, that is awesome. Like this is, I've never lost to the AI in Headquarters World War II like that. I am so impressed. That was incredible. There we go. I love it. I absolutely love it. Anyway, that's gee, I think I'm flushed red. I'm that impressed with the with what the AI did. It's this is So different to what Headquarters World War II was. Oh man, this is awesome. This is so awesome. Wow, I'm not going to underestimate the AI again. I can tell you that. They went straight for the objective. Like if you've played Headquarters World War II, there was a time where the AI really focused super heavily on its own defence and really wouldn't go and extend very far at all, which then put it at a massive disadvantage. This is incredible. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hope I've shown enough of the game to whet your appetite for what it actually does bring. But this is very, very cool. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this sort of content. I will be playing this, of course, a lot more as well. I do really, really like this game a hell of a lot, despite the little bugs that do come into it. But man, that is impressive. So anyway, that's where we got to. The score, well, you can see there we actually had a higher score. The prestige, they still had 712 prestige. So I think that's the prestige kill. No, it can't be the kills. I'm not sure what that is there. Victory points, we had more victory points. Units killed, we killed 4. They killed 2 of ours. Yep, so there we go with that one through there. Love it. So player 1, we can actually have a bit of a look and see. This was us, of course, with the units lost. We lost the Ford and also the Black Hawk, which is a bit of a shame. That was a fairly expensive one. In fact, what's that? That equates to the 7. That was the total point losses, which is really what the game is about once you actually get it all bogged down. So the AI player through here, they lost a lot of points in through that other side. Then they actually had, so if we can see it, they've got scouts, airborne forces. They've got 2 more of the little scout vehicles. Another T-64. No, that's what they built. If we go back, yes, that's what they built. They lost both scouts. They lost the tank. They lost one of the trucks. So all they were left with was the scouts, the airborne forces, an anti-air unit, and a anti-tank unit there as well, and one of the trucks. Wow, that was really, really impressive. That was. I am so happy that the AI did that. Like that was really, really cool. I won't underestimate them again. It may be the map. I don't know. I can't wait to be able to test it properly on a random map and see if it can still do the same sort of thing here. But that was great. Anyway, guys, going to leave it there. So we've just finished the battle. This is, of course, Headquarters Cold War. Yeah, definitely worth a buy. I think it's looking fantastic. We didn't even touch the campaign, but that was very, very impressive with the AI. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.